Talking about the COVID-19 pandemic. So, what is COVID? Coronavirus disease is the 2019 disease started in March, and it started it's a respiratory illness caused by a virus called SARS-CoV-2. And so this picture is like showing you like wear a mask, wash your hands, stay clean, don't touch your face, like have a good heart, take medicines, communicate with your doctor, and keep your distance. So, where did COVID start? Experts say that the SARS-CoV-2, which is coronavirus, originated in bats. And that's also how the coronavirus behind the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, the MERS, and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, SARS, got started. So they say it started in bats with the meat market in China, which is like the Wuhan's open air wet markets, which is like uh, a meat market in China. So how does coronavirus spread? So the virus is spread when someone who is positive comes in contact with a person who is that is not positive. So like you come in close contact with somebody who tested positive, you might not know that they're positive. They could be asymptomatic, or they can have symptoms. So most like young people are asymptomatic, so they don't come across the symptoms, but they do have coronavirus. Most people that I know who had it did have the virus, that they did have the symptoms, and they're in my age group, and they go to the same college as me. So what is a close contact? A close contact is a person exposed to COVID positive person for a minimum of 15 minutes within 6 feet. Like regardless of wearing a mask or not, like a mask only protects so much of like your face, and some people don't wear masks, right? You're supposed to wear your mask um covered your mouth and your nose. So especially if you're not wearing a mask, and the person who if both of you aren't wearing masks, that's definitely close contact. If one person is wearing a mask, the positive person, you're not, like that's still close contact no matter what your close contact. I mean, it helps you if you're wearing a mask with y'all, but doesn't help that much. So symptoms of COVID-19: a fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headaches, new loss or taste of smell, sore throat, congested or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea. One of the most frightening things about coronavirus is that you can be asymptomatic, which means you show no symptoms, but could still have the virus. So like I said, like many young people have that, but also do like older people have it. It depends on like your health, and like there's a lot of risks. Like if you have diabetes, you're high risk. If there's a bunch of like underlying health disease that like many people have, that they see like a pattern of the with people who do have COVID. And so this picture is also showing you like the symptoms of COVID. And then also the symptoms don't show after, like it shows you have to be in contact with the person and then once you're in contact, you test 14 days after, because the symptoms don't come like right away. So you can have symptoms of this, but they could have came like you're not gonna get it the very next day. Like say you're with somebody that day who has corona, you didn't know they had corona. The symptoms won't start showing until 14 days. So ways to get tested. So this picture right here is showing us ways. Oops. Showing us ways. So it says that the nasal, and then there's also you can draw blood, and then there's also a cotton swab. So I've done the cotton swab, and that they say that the only thing about that is that it takes 2 to 3 days to come in with the results. The nasal one, they like stick I guess I don't know what they stick. I've never done it, but they stick it in your nose, and that one's a rapid test, so it comes back within like 30 minutes, I think. And the blood, I've never like it just collects your antibodies and immune cells. And I know so the two like common types are molecular molecular tests that check the virus genetic material, and antigen tests that detect specific proteins on the surface of the virus. Samples are typically collected with a nasal or throat swab or saliva collected by spitting into it too. And yeah, if you wanted to know like right away if you were positive, if you like if you need to know like you need to get a quick test, you would do the one by the nose. So how to stop COVID-19? So you cannot like completely stop the spread because that's been going on for months now, almost a year, and like everybody around the world is trying to find the vaccine for it, right? So that's my problem in San Antonio is the spread of COVID-19, and many people are being ignorant, not wanting to wear the mask, right? Or like in my case, like I play volleyball, right, at Our Lady of the Lake, and if one person like has corona, then they shut down the whole system. They have to shut down the whole facility, clean it, make sure backtrack to see who is positive, see who they're with, if they're with the team, the whole team. So it's a whole process, and people have to be real cautious, especially like in that facility of school and sports. And like, hey, you want to keep things going, you want to have a safe facility, you want to make sure everybody's safe. You want to, especially the ones that do go home to their families, you don't want to like give them COVID and feel bad about it because you wanted to go out to a bar or something. So we just have to stay home, know your limits. Like if you know it's gonna be crowded, don't go. Clean your hands often. Make sure we have sanitizer on us because with at least 60% alcohol because that kills the virus. Avoid close contact with your mask off with people who are sick. Make sure you put distance between yourself. Like I know it seems rude to like, hey, like Corona, but like people really need to do that. Like that's such a big deal with especially you don't know who they're with or who they've been around. So make sure we cover our cough and sneezes because I know especially with this time around, nobody wants to be coughing, nobody wants to be sneezed on. So make sure we clean and disinfect our like phones, computers, handles. Make sure we have wipes on us with disinfectant wipes to like open doors, gloves. If people work like essential people who work during the pandemic, like me, like we always have to have new masks, gloves. Just like they keep that around, just sanitize the machines. Just so we feel safer and makes it like a cleaner environment. So masks are required down like everywhere you go. Like you can't get into the store without a mask. And I think that's a really good because before masks weren't um masks weren't required. Like it was kind of like, hey, like people need to be doing this. And I put these little like pictures to help like with people who are like visual learners to make sure they wash their hands for 20 seconds, use hand sanitizer, cover their coughs, avoid touching your eyes and your nose, and make sure like that's a big like common sense to do. And many people are trying to figure out vaccines for coronavirus, like a bunch of doctors, everybody around the world is trying to find it, but nobody has like successfully yet found a guaranteed vaccine. So I think that's kind of crazy. And my solution to this problem is just wear masks. It's like is this whole slide right here is to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's the whole all this things that I just mentioned. Put distance between yourself and clean and disinfect your phone, your everyday like objects that you touch is just a part of life now, and people need to understand like, hey, this is what I need to do to not get corona, and like don't go out putting yourself in danger. Just stay safe because there's not a guaranteed vaccine. Thank you.